Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks, to The Hungry Gamer is back with another mini review, and today we're talking about Vast Mysterious Manor, and also the Haunted Hallways expansion. And what Vast is it is an asymmetric game in which each player takes on a different character, or in the case of the skeleton faction, 5 different skeletons. And each of these different factions or characters have entered into this mysterious manor for one reason or another. And I'll also point out that one player can also actually play the manor itself. And like with Leader Games' big hit Root, in this game each player plays completely differently. And unlike in the game of Root, in this case each player has a completely different goal. In the case of this game, the person playing the Paladin or the Armored Knight, their object is to go in and kill the evil. The evil is either the Spider Sorcerer or the Shadow Paladin. The evil, perhaps it's just misunderstood, I don't know, is just trying to get strong enough to then get out of the manor. The skeletons are upset that this Paladin's coming in to kill stuff, so they just want to kill the Paladin, while the Warlock is kind of doing its own thing, wandering around trying to gain power from these different treasures and spirits that are wandering around the manor, and the manor just wants to lock everybody inside, keep them in there forever and ever and ever. Now, I'm not doing a rough overview of how to play because I would have to explain every different character, because when I say they play differently, I mean completely differently. Even down to the spider. The spider has 3 different forms that it can take on. It can be one giant spider, this kind of half spider, half person sorceress, or a bunch of little spiders. And even each one of those plays pretty differently. So I can't really give you the rules overview there, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump ahead to what do I like about this game. First off, I love the asymmetricness of the game. I just love that each player is doing their own thing completely. But at the same time, I also love that when you're playing this game, the scale feels smaller than a game like Root, which is Leader Games' other big asymmetric game. Because at the most, you're playing the skeletons and you have 5 things that you're managing. That's it. You don't have an army out there. So the whole scale feels smaller. And to me, that makes it, when you're playing a max player count game, it goes faster once people know what they're doing. Additionally, I really like the mechanics of all of these different factions that you can play. Every one that I've played, and I will say I have not actually played the Manor, I've played all the other ones. Every one that I've played before, it's just fun. And once you've grokked the rules, it really makes sense what it is that you should be doing, but it's not so cut and dry that you're like, I must pursue this one path. There's multiple paths that you can always pursue as you're doing this, and that to me is just fantastic. And along with it, as the game progresses and different players get closer or further away from their goals, the board state changes enough that even if you do think, this is my path I have to follow, you're going to have to adjust. So this constant adjustment, figure out what's going on and react, I really like that. I also would be remiss if I didn't say I love the way it looks, I love the art. The minis are pretty good. I'm actually painting a couple of them right now just because I enjoy the look so much. I'm probably making them worse by painting them, but you know, whatever. And I also appreciate that if you don't want minis because you don't want to paint something, it also comes with standees. And has all these standees that you're able to use instead. But perhaps what I think I like the most about this game is that when you're playing a larger player count game, you can pretty much ignore some of the players out there in the game. And to me, I love that. If I am playing the Paladin, I don't really care what the Warlock is doing. Yes, I'm going to move over and make a point that I messed the Warlock up so it can't run away with the game, but it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't affect me. And the Warlock can't do that much to mess with me. And so there's parts of the game that are just, they're happening. And to me, that brings the theme out a little more. Because if you're in this dark manor going around, the skeletons, they don't care about the spider. Not really, you know, unless it gets in their way, but otherwise it doesn't care. It's going to go after this force of goodness coming in to ruin things. And I just love that part of the game. And to me, I enjoy that more than when I'm playing a game like Root, because with that, you're always fair game. Destroying your stuff in Root will always give someone else points, period. Coming in and messing with your stuff in Vast may literally do nothing for them. So if they're going to do it, it's not some opportunistic thing, oh, I'm going to grab some points here. Because you don't even win by points. You win by doing who knows what. And so it, to me, makes the game feel like there's more intrigue going on. And it's less... It doesn't feel as mean as I think a game like Root can. Because you're forming those alliances in Root, and you're trying to bring down that leader, and it's real easy to bring down the leader because you kind of know what is going on. I just enjoy the core gameplay of Vast a lot. And I'm going to say this, and you're going to probably click unsubscribe. I enjoy it significantly more than I enjoy Root. I think it's faster, I find the characters more interesting, and I enjoy Root. I'm not bashing on Root, I just like this one better. I'm that one person. But that doesn't mean I don't have any quibbles about the game. So what are my quibbles with the game? And the first one is, it is unbelievably hard to learn and figure out what is going on. And the reason for that is twofold. One, the rule books aren't the best. There's a fair amount of times I had to go and look at errata, or I had to kind of go out and kind of search around various forums to figure out exactly how something worked. And so there's a little bit of that, but it is a very complicated game. That often does happen in games that are this complicated with crazily different factions. But there is a little bit of that. But more importantly, there is no semblance of a common game that you are playing when you play Vast at all. I mentioned Root. When you're playing Root, at least you know everyone has to get 30 points. You get 30 points, you win. And you know that if they destroy a building, they're going to get a point. And you know if they're taking stuff off of their board, that's probably going to lead to them getting more points. You don't know that in Vast. Because there is no, like I said, there is no common win condition. It's all different, and everyone does things differently. Yes, you probably don't want them taking stuff off of their board, sure. But you don't know what it's going to do. And because of that, you kind of need to know what all the different factions do, what they all do specifically, because you're going to have to interact with them. And that makes it a harder game, I think, to learn and teach. And then the next thing that I'll say is it's a total bummer that there is not some kind of real solo mode to this. There is a solo mode of some sort, but you can only play the Paladin. And I know Michael Kelly at One Stop Co-op Shop was working on some AIs that you can use to play some of the different characters in your game. But it's just a shame to me that there is not something like the Better Bot Project. Because, oh gosh, it would be so much fun to be able to play this game with a whole bunch of bots out there by yourself. Or, more interesting to me, to be able to play this game one-on-one and to be able to add in some other characters, because that's my next quibble with this game. I think we need at least 3 players to really have this game start to hit its stride. It can be played at 2, but it is such a different game. It is so different. It's just a head-to-head kind of slugfest. It's not really the right word. It's not a slugfest. Last time I played one-on-one, they were the Shadow Paladin and I was the Paladin. But it was simply, I'm going to watch what you do, you're watching what I do, and we will react, and it's almost like a chess match. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. But I don't know that I would ever pick to play Vast 2-player versus something like Skulk Hollow 2-player, which gives me that asymmetric vibe and gives me the same feeling of that head-to-head, I'm going to outthink you, outmaneuver you. That is really what Vast 2-player is. But if you got 3, 4, 5 players, there's not a lot of games that I want to play at 5 players, and this is one of them. So there you have it, folks. That is Vast Mysterious Manor. I think if you like an asymmetric game, you're not going to find one that's more asymmetric than this. I think it has all of those good, fun, crunchy things that you get in Root, with the learning how your faction works and the details, how it's different than the others, has all of that. But somehow it is scaled down. It feels smaller, it feels faster, it feels easier to manage, even though it is, I think, harder to learn and to teach, which is kind of a bizarre dichotomy, I know. And then the last thing I'll say is, I didn't mention it, the Haunted Hallways expansion, I think, is something that is not a must-buy, unless you're like me and you really enjoy the gameplay. Because what it is Vast Mysterious Manor, but more. It gives you an alternate character than the Paladin. You can play the Armored Knight. It gives you an alternate than the Spider. You can play the Shadow Paladin. So if you're going to play this game a lot, then it's something that you're going to want to pick up. It also has some really cool walls out there, and it has some different skeletons that you can add in, so it just kind of ups the variety that you're going to get, which gives this game insane amount of replay value. But there you have it, folks. That is Vast Mysterious Manor. I really, really like this game a lot. I think it is Leader Games' best game. I know you're going to come at me in the comments and say, no, 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 Root is better. No, 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 Oath is better. And that's fine. I certainly understand why people like Root more. I'm just not one of those people. And I haven't played Oath enough to really form an opinion on it. But there you have it, folks. That is Vast Mysterious Manor. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.